Welcome to Locked and Loaded Sports. It's time to lock in, load up, and win big. If you're serious about sports and love cashing in on solid picks, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's get to work. Every week, we will be focusing on under-the-radar DFS options who offer strong production for their price. From smart roster construction tips to our final pick, which will be an ultimate boom or bust tournament play. This breakdown should get you ready to build winning lineups. The first player we will discuss is Patrick Mahomes, who isn't flying under the radar in Week 7, but he might still be overlooked where it matters most in large field DraftKings tournaments. Priced at $7,000, Mahomes is the highest salary quarterback on the slate, and that sticker shock will likely push many DFS players toward cheaper options. And that's exactly what makes him so dangerous. In Week 6, Mahomes reminded everyone what he's capable of. He completed 22 of 30 passes for 257 yards and 3 touchdowns, while adding 32 rushing yards and a score on the ground in a 30-17 win over Detroit. It was vintage Mahomes, improvising when needed, delivering from the pocket when it counted, and putting the game away with that signature second-half surge. This week, he draws a matchup he's historically dominated, the Las Vegas Raiders. Mahomes has torched the Raiders throughout his career, averaging over 300 passing yards and nearly 3 touchdowns per game. Now, he gets them at a time when the Chiefs' offense is heating up and key weapons are returning to the field. The expected return of wide receiver Rashee Rice gives Mahomes his top wideout option back, while Travis Kelce has reemerged as the go-to target we've come to expect. The passing game is clicking again, and with no real run game to lean on, this offense still runs entirely through Mahomes. Yes, he's expensive. And no, he's not sneaky. But his ceiling is unmatched, and in tournaments, that's what wins you money. With ownership expected to lean toward cheaper plays or mid-tier options in softer matchups, Mahomes becomes a premium pivot with as much 30-point upside as any player on the slate. He's not the play for everyone, but if you're betting on talent, track record, and narrative, Patrick Mahomes at home against the Raiders is exactly the kind of high-risk, high-reward anchor that can separate your lineup from the field. We are getting locked and loaded with Patrick Mahomes. If you appreciate this content, please hit the like button. Our next player to discuss is ready to play fresh off a bye week, and Jordan Mason might not jump off the page when you first scan the Week 7 DFS slate, especially not at $6,200 on DraftKings, but look a little closer, and he's got all the ingredients of a classic GPP sleeper: clear opportunity, a vulnerable opponent, and almost no buzz heading into the weekend. Let's be honest, at $6,200, the bar is higher. Mason will need to score around 18.6 fantasy points just to return value, and he's only hit that mark once this season, back in Week 3 against the Bengals. That alone will drive his ownership down, which is exactly what you want in tournament builds. But this week is different. For the first time, Mason enters as the Vikings' undisputed RB1, and he draws an Eagles defense that's quietly trending in the wrong direction. Last week, Cam Skatibo lit up Philly for over 100 all-purpose yards and 3 touchdowns. And Mason, who brings a similar ability to grind out yards and contribute in the red zone, could follow that same formula. Philadelphia is also banged up on defense. Top rookie corner Quinyon Mitchell exited in the second quarter last week with a hamstring injury and didn't return. On the interior, Jalen Carter was a late week scratch with a heel injury. Without those two, this defense isn't just thin, it's vulnerable in both the pass and run game. If the Vikings play from ahead or keep things close, Mason should see 15-plus touches, including goal line work. And even in negative game script, his role in the passing game could keep him relevant. He doesn't need a monster performance, but 2 touchdowns or a long breakaway run could push him over the 20-point mark, which would smash value at his price point. So while Mason isn't a safe play, he's a sharp one. The salary is just high enough to scare people off. The recent production doesn't scream upside, but the context, matchup, and role say he's ready to deliver in a spot that few DFS players will target, and that's exactly where tournament winners are born. We are getting locked and loaded with Jordan Mason. Don't forget to subscribe. We appreciate you. Our next player is a salary saver with upside in Week 7, and Rashid Shaheed might be the key to unlocking the rest of your DFS lineup. Priced at just $4,500 on DraftKings, Shaheed brings a surprising floor, explosive play potential, and a matchup that quietly sets the stage for a bounce-back performance. Shaheed is coming off a quiet Week 6, 4 catches on 6 targets for just 28 yards and a loss to New England. But don't be fooled by the box score. He still posted a 23% target share, and he's now recorded at least 4 catches in every game this season, clearing 40 receiving yards in 5 of 6 contests. The difference last week, he didn't land the deep ball that's become his calling card. Enter Week 7 and a potential breakout. QB Spencer Rattler has shown a willingness to take shots downfield, and his arm talent pairs naturally with Shaheed's speed. While there's some volatility here, both in Rattler's decision-making and the offense's rhythm. Volatility is exactly what you're targeting in GPPs. The matchup doesn't hurt either. The Bears' secondary has been among the most beatable in the league, especially against vertical threats. They've struggled to contain explosive plays and haven't consistently generated pressure, which should give Rattler time to look deep. And that's Shaheed's sweet spot. At $4,500, you're only asking for about 13.5 DraftKings points to hit 3 times value. That's easily within reach if he connects on even one big play or finds the end zone. And with most of the field likely to avoid Saints pass catchers, you're getting built-in leverage with a path to slate breaking upside. Shaheed may not be the most comfortable click, but comfort doesn't win tournaments. Value, speed, and opportunity does. We're getting locked and loaded with Rashid Shaheed. Just so you know, there's a link in the description to our Instagram page. Follow us. And now we move on to the tight end position. At just $3,300 on DraftKings, Ron Gadsden is shaping up to be an intriguing salary-saving option in Week 7, especially for players looking to pay up at premium spots elsewhere. The rookie tight end is quietly emerging as a trusted target for Justin Herbert, and his role in the Chargers offense has grown just in time for a highly favorable matchup. Gadsden is coming off his best game as a pro in the Chargers' Week 6 win over Miami, catching 6 of 8 targets for 68 yards. Only Ladd McConkey saw more looks from Herbert, and what's more important is how he was used. Gadsden ran a route on 32 of Herbert's 39 dropbacks, signaling a clear shift in how the team views him, not just as a tight end, but as a true pass-catching threat. That usage now gets put to the test against a Colts defense that has struggled mightily against tight ends all year. Through 6 weeks, Indianapolis has surrendered 414 receiving yards to the position, third most in the league. At $3,300, you don't need a big game for Gadsden to hit value, and he came close to scoring last week on a near touchdown grab in the first half. Add in the high route participation, plus his involvement in the red zone, and he becomes a clear value candidate. Gadsden isn't just a salary saver, he's a player with a growing role, a quarterback who trusts him, and one of the best positional matchups on the board. If you're building tournament lineups this week, don't overlook the rookie tight end quietly climbing the Chargers target ladder. We are getting locked and loaded with Ron Gadsden. If you have any DFS questions, leave a comment and we'll get back to you. As we mentioned in the beginning of our video, we are going to focus our last recommendation on the super value play that could boom or bust, but will ultimately give you major flexibility when it comes to roster construction on DraftKings. This player is not making headlines just yet, but Bo Nix may be one of the most intriguing boom or bust DFS plays heading into Week 7, especially for those looking to swing big in tournaments. Nix enters the week coming off a conservative outing against the Jets, where he completed 19 of 30 passes for 174 yards and a touchdown in a 13-11 win. The Broncos' offense vanished after halftime, producing just 39 passing yards and multiple 3-and-outs in the second half. But the first half showed a different story. 135 yards and a touchdown, with Nix looking confident and efficient early on. This week, he draws a much softer matchup at home against the New York Giants, a defense that ranks near the bottom of the league in multiple categories. Through 6 weeks, the Giants have given up 1,548 passing yards, fourth most in the NFL, and have been gashed by mobile quarterbacks, allowing 26.1 rushing yards per game to the position, fifth worst in the league. That opens the door for Nix, who has enough mobility to extend plays and add value with his legs. At just $5,600 on DraftKings, Nix needs 17.8 fantasy points to hit 3 times value, and he's already cleared that mark in 3 of 6 games this season. That 50% hit rate comes without a true breakout performance yet, which makes this matchup particularly intriguing. If Denver is pushed to stay aggressive, or if the Giants force a higher scoring game than expected, Nix could push past 200 yards with multiple touchdowns, especially if he chips in rushing yards. Now, make no mistake, this isn't a cash play. Nix's floor is low if the Broncos go into another second-half shell, but for large field GPPs, he offers the kind of low-owned, low-priced upside that helps unlock elite salary options elsewhere in your lineup. He might not have the spotlight yet, but Bo Nix is exactly the kind of player who could break through in Week 7 or flame out completely. That's what makes him such a compelling boom or bust tournament dart on this slate. We are getting locked and loaded with Bo Nix. That wraps up another breakdown here on Locked and Loaded Sports. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest sports analysis and betting insights. More picks, more locks, and more action is coming your way. That's all for now. Stay sharp, stay ready, and get locked and loaded.